Hi, so I wanted to give a bit of an update as to how the Travelling Book Project is going. I wanted to also just let people know exactly what they're going to be getting when we're talking about a travelling book, because everyone's got their own ideas as to what a travelling book is, what it does, what it's for, what you put in it, what you don't put in it, all that kind of thing, which is great, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing the project, because I want to see what people do with the book, what ideas they have, whether you put pictures or videos, well, maybe not videos, pictures, or you write in it, or you draw pictures, or whatever, you stick leaves in it. I've no idea, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens, but I wanted everyone to be clear as to what is happening at my end, so you can see, one, why the books aren't out yet, because there's a fair bit of work that's going on. Two, not exactly, but kind of how the book's going to look when it gets to you, if you've ordered a travelling book, so you know what you're going to be getting, so it's not a big surprise. And just a few of the guidelines which I've listed down to kind of bear in mind. So, first things first, why aren't the books out yet? It's been a whole couple of week since the funding campaign ended. Why aren't all the books sent out yet? Well, there's quite a few books. I'll just show you some stuff and I'll show you what the books look like. So here is some of the books which are being done. As you can see, all these ones I've started. So basically they've got in them a sort of guideline bit, a front page, that will get added to the big sort of gap in the middle. That will get covered with a thank you to particular people that have funded the book, or possibly the book's name if they've paid for the book to be named. That's what's in the books so far. These, apart from that, these are completely blank books. They're not ready to go out yet. I also have here more books. These have not been started whatsoever, so I need to crack on with those. But before the books are ready, I also need to add in my own story into the book. So every single one, I'm doing the first entry, basically, so everyone can see it and kind of go, oh yeah, that's what he's done. Not that you have to copy what I've done at all, but just as just a guide to say, this is what I've done. If you want to do that, that's cool. If you want to do something else, that's cool, but just as an idea. Other stuff that I've got around here, I've got loads of pictures. I'm putting pictures in my story, so there's those. I've got scissors, I've got sellotape for sellotaping the pictures in. Very, very obvious. You have to be really, really you have to make sure these things aren't going to move, because the book hopefully is going to travel all over the world and be out for quite a while. So, what does a book actually look like? Well, this is the book. So it's an A5 journal. Comes in a variety of colours, as you can see. We've got blue ones, we have got pink ones, we've got lime green ones. So my apologies if you get a pink one and you don't want a pink one, but sorry, I had to go with what I could get hold of. And for some reason, the places that I went in weren't really geared up for me to buy nearly 30 books all in one go. So he's kind of, right, what have you got that is affordable, that is going to be solid and doesn't weigh too much, so we can post it. So, books look like this. When you open the book, you open the book, it's got guidelines on the left hand side. So, and they do vary slightly from book to book, because as I write them, I kind of find new ways of refining things. So I bet if you got the first book and the 18th book, this is the 18th, they probably look quite different, but hopefully the core stuff is still in there. So it basically says, please check out the guidelines before you take part. I'll come on to that in a minute. What is a travelling book? What you're supposed to do. When it's finished, email me, and then I'll give you a mailing address to send it home. I'll scan the book and then put it on the internet for everyone to read. If you include your email or Twitter handle in the book, I'll let you know when you can see the finished book. If you don't want to do that because you're unhappy about privacy concerns or anything like that, you can email me at mike.raven@gmail.com and let me know that you've had a book and which book it is. I'll come on to that in a moment. And I'll keep track of that and I'll email you separately about that. Again, find out more at the website, www.travelingbook.eu. I'd love people to email or tweet me. That's my Twitter hashtag, that Twitter handle, @RavensWingThog. I'd love for people to do that and let me know where in the world this book is. Maybe you want to take a photo of it where it is, maybe take a photo of yourself with the book, whatever you want. And each book has a separate hashtag. So, for example, this is the 18th book, and it is hashtag #TBook18. So, ideally, if you're tweeting about it, or if you email me and say, oh, I've got a travelling book, if you can let me know, hashtag TBook, whatever number it is, it just lets me keep track of the books. Because what I'm doing is on the website, I've got a page which lists all the books and all of the contacts that we've had. So I'm hoping that's going to become quite dynamic, and it will be like, 17th of November, book 15 has been seen in Toronto, or wherever, Albuquerque. So that's the guidelines. This page is your intro, so the 18th in this case travelling book. It might say on here something like, with thanks to Mike, or thanks to whoever's funded the book, maybe the book's name if they've paid for a name for a book, the hashtag again. And then inside, as I say, the first entry I've done so everyone has an idea as to what they could put in the book, but it's not this is what you must do. So I've put in here, I've put myself, where I live. If you don't want to use your real name, absolutely fine. Make up a pseudonym, I don't care. I don't really have any sort of privacy concerns for the stuff I've put in here, so I'm happy with this. But if you're not comfortable putting this level of information, that's absolutely fine. I would like you to put, at the very least, the county or the state that you live in and the country. So, for example, Ohio, USA. I hope that doesn't narrow things down too much, but it just kind of gives an idea as to where the book's been. But if you're not comfortable about doing that, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to at all. I've put my Twitter handle up there. As I say, if you don't mind sharing your Twitter handle and you want to know when the book is finished, stick it in there and then I can pick it up. It says, hi, I'm Mike, I'm a council worker, that's my job. I've got photos in here and a little bit of text about my hobbies. As you see, these photos are all fairly securely sellotaped in. So do make sure, if you do stick anything in the book, that it is not going to move. So just be careful about that. I've got a little bit here about where I live. I live in Hull. Talks about the Humber Bridge, which is kind of a notable feature of the area. A bit more about hobbies, basically me with a pint, and a little bit about myself and my family. And you just end up with a sort of thank you for reading this, and I look forward to finding out where the book goes. And it's got my name again, my location again. It's got a date. I'd quite like a date on there. And my Twitter handle one more time. So yeah, I would quite like the date because it just kind of makes it almost a sort of a photograph of the time. So on this day, this thing happened, and you could put news in there. You don't have to. I haven't put news in there, but you could do. So that's one thing that you could do. Right. So after that, all these pages are blank. So these are to be filled out, by yourself, and then onwards. And then right at the end, it should say something like, it's the end of the book, email Mike at mike.raven@gmail.com for the address to send it home. So whoever gets to that end bit, I'll basically be hoping that they email me and say, I'll finish the book, what's your address? And I'll give them my address and they can post it back. As for length of your entries, it is on the guidelines. Again, I'm not saying it must be 1 page, it must be 50 pages. I've done 3, and I'm okay with that. That's enough. Mind you, I am doing 20 plus of these books, so I don't really want it to be a dozen pages because it will take me forever. So 3 is plenty for me. Just put that back there so I'm not having to hold it. I'll even make it a little bit straighter. Hello. So, up to you. I would generally say probably 10 pages is enough for a person, but it depends entirely on what you want to put in the book. Your life experiences. You might have some fascinating stories that you want to put in the book that just take a bit of room. entirely up to yourself. I'm not going to say it must be at least this much. Please don't do more than that much. You know, it's up to you. As for guidelines, I will just run through the guidelines really, really quickly. These are also on the website, www.travellingbook.eu, so do check these out, and please check them out before you take part in the Travelling Book project. Bear in mind, I'm going to read them out as they stand now. Do check out the website anyway, because they may change over time as things crop up. There are a few guidelines. First, I don't take any responsibility for what goes in the book. If you put anything in the book, please make sure that publication of anything that you've put in the book is consented to. So don't put information about other people, photos of other people, anything basically, contact details, unless they've consented to it. I'm not going to take any responsibility, I'm afraid. Don't include anything within the book which is not intended for public consumption, no secrets or anything. As I say, sorry, I don't take any responsibility for that. I'm not particularly planning to censor the book before it goes live, so I'm not going to be taking on any lawsuits for people saying, oh my god, this has been said in the book, that's not true, it's libel or anything like that, sorry. I'd like you to please don't send the book on to someone else who you know will complete and send it on, because the plan is this goes to a person, they fill out a bit, they send it on to somebody else who fills out a bit about themselves, so on and so forth, until it's full, then it comes back to me. What I'd suggest is speak to the person before you send them the book. Don't just send a book off to someone with a note saying, hey, I thought you might like this. It sounds like a nice surprise, but I'm just worried that it's going to get to someone who doesn't really want to do it, and the book sort of ends up half filled, thrown out or something. So please do have a quick word with them and say, doing this project, bit of a laugh, would you like to get involved? Okay, I'll send you the book. What else? Yeah, so it is for public consumption, so maybe go easy on the adult themes, you know, just an idea there. You know, again, I'm not planning to censor it, but you might want to bear that in mind. Don't put anything in about anyone that hasn't consented to it. Would like you to get in touch and let us know where in the world the book is. Don't have to, but it'd be nice just to let us know that the book is alive and safe and in wherever. And we may well mention that on the website, unless you tell us not to. If you'd like to know when the book gets home and it's available on the internet to be read, because what's going to happen is when this is full, it will be scanned and then put onto the internet so everyone can access it. Do let me know, either stick it in the book, your contact detail, your email address or Twitter handle or something like that. I'm not saying put postal addresses or home addresses or anything like that in the book. Someone did say to me, why do they have to do that? You don't. I wouldn't recommend it. I haven't put my postal address in the book. I don't expect anyone to put their postal address in the book. If you want to, that's up to you, but I don't know why you would. If you do put photos or anything in the book, make sure it's really well fixed in. You might, if you're lucky, or these books generally have a little sort of tag that I'm probably not going to find because I'm live on video here. Right, a little sort of stringy tag. You know, it's a bookmark, but it's just a piece of string. Now, if you're lucky, I am getting hold of some free bookmarks. I've basically emailed and contacted anyone who was giving away a free bookmark, be it a promotional company, be it some other organisations or groups, and said, can I have a free bookmark? And any that I get in the next week or so that arrive, I'll be sticking onto these, and so you might get one if you're lucky. Otherwise, it'll just be a stringy thing. Anything else? A little bit of legal wording, I'm afraid. I, Mike Raven, am the publisher, and any contributors to Travelling Books are the author. The author hereby grants and assigns to the publisher, its successors, representatives and assigns the sole and exclusive right to publish, i.e. print, publish and sell, or to license the work for publication in the English language or in any other language in the United Kingdom and in any other foreign country. Okay, why? What does that mean? Basically, depending on the success of the project, we might want to do something with the work beyond providing it on the internet. Might want to make it into a real book if it's a big success. might want to publish a snippet somewhere when talking about the project. For example, if it's interviewed saying, "Oh well, Terry from New Zealand, he's a software engineer," if that's what he said in the book. It's not about me or anyone making tons and tons of money from the books, and I don't think that would ever be the case. All it is it's about allowing the information in the books, which should be entered with a view of general consumption anyway, to be made as widely available as possible. So if I can, if it is a success and I'm able to get someone to say, "Oh, we could publish this book," or we could do a newspaper article, or we could do a radio interview, or we could do something else, that I have the right to do that. It's going, it's on the internet. It's going to be difficult, particularly if you don't put in your contact details and you don't email me your contact details. It's going to be very, very difficult for me to get in touch with you to say, "Hi, you put something in this book that 2 years ago. Do you mind if I mention it in a radio interview?" And I can't see anyone really complaining about that. But that's the legal wording that I wanted to be clear that is there, and you do give me the right to publish the stuff in the book. But as I say, I'm not planning to make any money out of this book. As things stand, I'm going to be paying out of my own pocket, which is absolutely fine. There's tons of people who have funded and contributed to the project, which I really, really appreciate. Thank you to everyone who's done that. And I will be doing a specific thank you video for that. But we've all forked out a bit of money, which is absolutely fine. So I'm not planning to suddenly become a multi-millionaire by publishing the secrets that people put in these books. If you do have a blog or Twitter or Facebook or YouTube channel or any other social media channel thingy, if you want to promote it, feel free to stick it in the book. Not masses of adverts. I'm not expecting one of these to come back with 50 pages full of some sort of mainstream company advert, full colour advert or anything. But I mean, I've promoted my blog in here. I've put iBlog, foggy.blogspot.com, etc., etc. So if you want to do that, not a problem. If you do feel the need to promote it in any way, if you do mention it on a blog or YouTube or anything like that, do let me know. I'd love to have a look, and I'd love to link to it from the Travelling Book website. So please do that. Do check out the forums also. On the Travelling Book website, there is a forums page. You have to register to go on the forums, but there is forums there. So do come on, say hi, say, "Oh, I'm excited about getting the book, I'm excited about the project, I think whatever." You can have a chat. Do go up there, because currently it's just me posting a lot, and I'm not entirely sure if anyone's reading it except for me. Finally, last and probably the most important guideline, thank you for taking part, and do have fun with it. I hope that the books give us an opportunity to be creative. I hope it gives us a way to kind of understand each other, also to try and find out what other parts of the world are like and other people's viewpoints, all that sort of thing. That's all the guidelines I'm going to go through. On the website, there are frequently asked questions as well on the same page as the guidelines, so do have a read through those ones. If you're thinking, "I haven't got involved and I really, really want to get involved," well, you can. It's absolutely fine. On the website, at the bottom of every page, is a donate button for PayPal. And if you donate me £12, you can get a book. Now, you may well think, "Well, why do I have to pay for a book? Because you've said you're going to be able to use a book." Well, yes, but there's going to be a limit, I'm afraid, how much I'm going to fork out. Why is it £12? Well, that was the lowest amount set on the Indiegogo campaign, and I don't want people who donated to that to feel as though they've been made to spend over the odds. And it costs me, if I can get hold of these books at the right place, at the right price, it costs me £2 for one of these books. Plus, I have to print out a load of colour photos. I obviously have to spend some time preparing the books and sticking all my stuff in, which is absolutely fine. Don't mind that, no, it's my time. Biggest expense for these is sending them out. So if it's going overseas, it's about £6 to send one of these out. If it's staying in my country in the UK, it's £3 to send one of these. If the biggest expense beyond the books is the website. The website costs something like, I think it's maybe £80 a year. So the majority of the cash basically sits at one side to go towards the website. And I suspect I'm probably going to end up spending the money that's assigned for the website on more books. So I obviously welcome more funding. If you don't want to donate £12 for a book, that's absolutely fine. If you just think it's a cool thing, I want to give him 50p, you can do that. Don't mind that at all. But if you want a book, it's 12 quid, and whatever that is in other currencies. That's everything I wanted to go through. This video has gone on far longer than I expected, so I'm going to call it there. Hopefully these books are going to be finally out in a week or so. I'm not feeling it yet, but I think I'm going to miss them. That sounds weird, but I think I am going to miss them. I think, currently, huge pile of books. I've got tons of books. My camera is balanced on a book at the moment. But all these books, they are trickling out. One's already gone. This one's going to Hull College tomorrow. At least I'm planning for it too, unless they tell me they don't want it. In which case, sod you, Hull College. But I'm sure that won't be the case. I'm sure they're very, very nice people. But most of the books will all be sent out probably in a week's time, maybe 2 weeks' time, depending on how quickly I get everything done. So, and it's going to be the last time I actually see a lot of these books, I feel. Despite everything that I've said, I do anticipate at least some of the books will get so far, and then they won't get passed on, or someone will forget about a book, or maybe someone will even think, this is a nice book, I'll just keep it for myself, which will be a huge, huge shame, and I please urge anyone not to do that, because we are all going to get the book if it comes back to me. I will scan the book and share it on the internet for everyone to access. But I can see someone just kind of going, no, I'm going to keep it. Maybe I paid for it, I'm going to keep it. And that's going to be a real, real shame if anyone does do that. But there we are. Maybe a book will get lost in the post. Maybe I'm being too negative about people. Maybe it will just be a book gets lost in the post and we don't see it again. But I do kind of feel this might be the last time I see some of these books, and I have spent quite a bit of time preparing the books, and I'm going to continue spending time preparing the books, which is absolutely fine, and I'm enjoying doing it. I am really excited about the project. But it is, almost a little bit of a bittersweet moment. For some of these, they're not going to come back, or they might not come back. And I'm certainly not going to see the books for, at the very least, several months, probably a year or more, which, absolutely fine, of course, but it is going to be, I'll spend all this time running the campaign, and preparing the books, and doing the website, and then they're going to go, and I might get a few contacts from people saying, oh, I've got a book here, I've got a book there, which I'd love. The more people that do that, the better. Please tweet at me, or at the very least tweet with the hashtag of whatever the book is. And I'm going to be actively looking for that and trying to see if I can find the books anywhere. So do blog about it, do video about it, all that kind of thing, so I can find them on the internet. But it's going to be a long period of fairly quiet, hopefully some activity, but it's going to be fairly quiet. That said, I've got some kind of cool ideas coming up. Hull College, I'm going in to see Hull College tomorrow, because apparently they've got some ideas about the project, so I'm looking forward to speaking to their guy Luke, who has been really, really good at promoting the project as well. Thanks, Luke. So it's going to be interesting. If anyone's got any questions, any ideas, any thoughts, do get in touch. Drop a message on the forum, email me, comment on the video, whatever you like. Just let me know. I'd love to hear from you about the project, and hopefully I'll check back probably maybe a week's time, maybe 2 weeks' time, with a video of the books leaving. Bye!